The country's air traffic management system undergoes maintenance, which delayed some flights anew. President Bongbong Marcos claims to have brought home investment commitments from Switzerland. And thousands of people flocked to Binondo and nearby areas in Manila to welcome the Chinese New Year. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. We begin the newscast with the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines apologizing to passengers affected by a maintenance activity earlier today. The CAAP said it was for the replacement of a cooling fan for the uninterruptible power supply or UPS of the air traffic management system. The agency reported that 9 flights were held at the NAIA's taxiway, while 38 flights waited for clearance delivery during the short outage. A failure in the UPS was initially determined to have caused the airspace shut down on New Year's Day, which affected thousands of passengers. President Bongbong Marcos touts investment commitments from his recent trip to Switzerland. The details in this report.
President Bongbong Marcos is back in the country after participating at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. During his arrival speech, the president said he consulted with other economic leaders on the controversial Maharlika Wealth Fund.
I took the opportunity as well to consult with our friends and partners in Davos on the Sovereign Wealth Fund as a means for us to diversify our income sources to generate various welfare effects to the Filipino people, while recognizing that this is a collaborative work with experts and our lawmakers so that its final form is what we intend to be.
Marcos Jr. also met with other world leaders, like former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, and various envoys from the World Trade Organization and World Bank. He also touted his business meetings with potential investors, like DP World, Glencore, and Morgan Stanley.
The business meetings held promise of new investments in many of our economic sectors, including mining, processing, digital solutions, logistics, telecommunications, renewable fuel, amongst others, and will enable our companies to participate deeper in global value chains.
Meanwhile, some members of the economic team remained in Switzerland to attend follow-up meetings with various economic and political leaders.
You will notice, of course, that Secretary Ben Jokno and Secretary Arce Balisacan are not with us, as they had remained to for follow-up meetings that were not scheduled but had become scheduled after we had met with the different economic leaders and political leaders in Davos.
Before leaving, Marcos Jr. also visited the Filipino community in Switzerland, who welcomed him with a serenade. For News 5, Paul Samarita, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. President Bongbong Marcos says he is not yet inclined to appoint a permanent agriculture chief. Marcos Jr. noted that he is still looking for the right person to lead the department. He also stressed that he wants to appoint someone who is knowledgeable about agriculture. Several groups have been calling for a regular secretary at the agency amid issues in the sector.
Kailangan eksperto sa agrikultura. Hindi lang kung sino-sino basta magaling mag-manager. Pag nagawa na namin yung mga yung bucket list namin, natapos na namin, alis na ako. Then I will give it to somebody else.
The president also denied that there was a plot to oust Clarita Carlos as his national security advisor. This came after Carlos revealed that there were people who wanted her out of the office since day one. Former Interior Chief Eduardo Año has been appointed as the new NSA following Carlos's resignation.
I asked them to join the government because I have belief in them. I trust them. I believe in their capabilities, and I believe that they are the love of country. And so, somebody criticizing them for some things that is not enough to change my opinion.
Thousands of people from Manila and nearby areas welcomed the Chinese New Year at Jones Bridge. Josh Camo with a report.
Excited residents flocked to the Jones Bridge in Manila to watch the fireworks display to welcome the Year of the Water Rabbit.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1! Happy New Year!
When the clock struck 12, fireworks lit up the night sky. The fireworks display ran for about 10 minutes. Angel said she and her family went to the bridge as early as 12 noon to ensure they have the best view as they celebrate the Lunar New Year in public for the first time after 2 years.
Masaya po kasi 2 years kang nasa loob lang ng bahay tapos ngayon nagdidiwang lahat, nagsasama-sama lahat.
Meanwhile, these barangay officials took a moment to enjoy the celebration. Their mantra for this year,
Sipag at tiyaga pa rin ang swerte!
some foreigners also took part in ringing in the new year.
It was amazing. I really like it. For me, it was kind of surprising. I wasn't expecting that, but it was nice.
It's absolutely more fun in the Philippines to spend the time here and have Happy New Year.
Nearly 10,000 people spent their Chinese New Year sa Lubong at the Jones Bridge. Meanwhile, colorful Chinese lanterns lit up the streets of Ongpin. Anime, a Lucky Charm vendor, hoped to earn more due to the return of the celebrations.
Mas marami po ngayon. Kasi ilang taon na rin pong walang ganap na Chinese New Year, ilang taon na rin po. Kaya mas marami pong tao talaga ngayon. Ito naman po ang piyaw, yan po ang trending ngayon. Money magnet po siya.
After halting for 2 years due to the pandemic, the Manila LGU has restarted Chinese New Year celebrations. During her speech, Manila Mayor Hani Lacunapangan commended the contribution of the Filipino-Chinese community in strengthening the city.
In this momentous event, we reflect the diversity and strength of the Filipino-Chinese community and its contribution to the very fabric of this magnificent city.
Chinese Ambassador to the Philippines Wang Shilian also recalled the partnership of China and Philippines, particularly the city of Manila, at the height of the pandemic.
Our friendship has deepened when our actions defined our true partnership. Those were 3 years when China-Philippines relations have built on the past and laid solid foundations for the future.
He is hoping that the partnership with China would become more stronger this year of the Water Rabbit. For News 5, Josh Camo, We Are One News.
The first Manila Chinatown Dragon Boat Festival took place in Binondo today in celebration of the Chinese New Year. The racing event started at Jones Bridge with the participation of over 500 paddlers from 20 clubs. One paddler recalled how being in a team brought back her momentum after surviving from cancer. Organizers said the competition is not just a celebration of sportsmanship, but also for the protection of Pasig River.
I thought I will lose my physical self with my diagnosis. And then nga, nung nagsali ako sa Manila Dragons, na-realize ko na not only I rediscovered my physical self, parang nawala na yung stigma of cancer in my life.
Ito para sa una, pantulong sa ating kalikasan. Pangalawa guys, sinabi ko kanina, para sa between Filipino and Chinese, ating friendship at sabay celebrate ng Chinese New Year.
The massive migration during the New Year lunar holiday is sparking fears of a COVID-19 catastrophe. Let's watch this.
It's Lunar New Year, China's most important holiday, and for the first time since the pandemic emerged, people there can travel freely. Travel is expected to be no holds barred this year. People don't need to take a test in order to get on a flight or a bus. And for the first time, they won't need to quarantine once they arrive somewhere new. We're expecting 2.1 billion trips to happen during the Lunar New Year holiday. That's more than double we saw last year, but still slightly below the 3 billion that we saw in previous years. One of the great unknowns at this point is how exactly this mass migration is going to impact the COVID outbreak across China. We do know that there's already been a significant outbreak that's happened, particularly the biggest cities. The question is whether or not the rural areas have been fully exposed to the virus, and whether people going from cities like Beijing and Shanghai to rural villages and towns are going to be bringing the virus with them. The number of people who travel abroad is still pretty low at this point, given that many people haven't been home to see their friends and family, and the demand for international trips has remained low. Economists and analysts are expecting that this return to travel is really going to be buoyant, is really going to be helpful, getting people back out and spending once again. If the number of infections increase significantly, it could have a dampening effect on the economy for the next couple of weeks. This is the year of the rabbit, and China watchers do expect that the economy is going to take off after the Lunar New Year holiday.
For more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.